Lush green forest. Panning out, pink text appears. Masceo.net presents. Camera pans right, showing old truck, then small red house behind a permanently parked travel trailer. Travel trailer door opens and sweet silver-haired lady appears wearing pink shirt, shorts, and flip-flops. She starts to head down the pathway briskly with purpose. Pink text appears. A Masceo Film. We start to follow her from behind as she heads down the path as the morning sun flickers delicately through the forest surrounding her. Pink text appears, featuring Enchanted Hills Camp. She continues down the shadow-covered path into the sunlight, where we now see a multicolored, artsy painted building. Pink text appears. Tony Fletcher. She makes a hard left in front of the picnic table and the art building and continues down the path. Pink text appears. Donnie and Janet Lay. With historic guide ropes on either side and Lacoya Lake now in front of her, she veers left. Pink text appears. Chris Boyd. Now in the heart of the camp, she moves briskly as the sunlight continues to flicker. Pink text appears. Masceo. She bears right and approaches the camp's dining hall. Now following her closer, she enters what is known as the breezeway. Pink text appears. And introducing... Linda Fonseca! As Linda reaches the end of the breezeway, she goes left through one of the many doorways into the dining hall and heads directly into the kitchen. Now, in fast motion, Linda appears, coming out of the kitchen with an apron, and immediately starts to put it on. As soon as she has tied it off in front of her, switches to black and white as she throws two enthusiastic thumbs up with a big smile, all in slow motion. Title in pink appears. 50 Years of Fonseca. Fade to black. Part 1. Introduction and History. Throughout the film during the interviews, there will be cutscenes and photographs that apply to what is being said, looking straight up into a massive circular grouping of redwood trees. Slowly turning, then swooping down the giant trees, we see Linda sitting next to an old redwood stump.
Hello, I'm Linda Fonseca. I'm 58 years old and I've been coming here for 50 years. Enchanted Hills Camp for the blind. EAC is a place to be. I love the nature and the sound of birds in the morning when I wake up. I like to hear the crows, especially when the creek is running in the springtime and you hear the water gushing away. And flowers bloom in the springtime. Every year I like to see, I see new group of people come every year. I enjoy many changes I have experienced over the years, and they become changes for the better.
Panning right, showing thick, rich, dense forest. Linda, now standing on the bench, gazes peacefully into the forest. Linda is now sitting in what is known as the Redwood Circle Fire Pit. She leans back against the redwood tree and looks satisfyingly straight up at the sky. Once again, looking straight up through the redwood tree's foliage. The camera slowly turns again, then pans down as the sun glimmers elegantly through the branches. Linda now sitting in front of the fire pit, pondering.
Redwood Circle is a intimate, small campfire pit with logs all the way around where people sat and chat with campfire. This is where we used to have our campfire every night back in '66. Okay, I was born in LA and moved to San Francisco when I was about, 16 months old. I lived there, I live there now, but I'm up here most of the year now, volunteering over 2,000 hours a year, so that's quite a bit of hours.
Linda reflects.
Well, I was told my family happened to see a television commercial about this place back in the mid-'60s. I don't know what year, maybe 65. And then they found out about it for the next year for me to be here in 1966 when I first came here. And the rest is history.
Linda now stands in front of the picnic table right in the heart of what is known as the Girls' Town. Little red cabins surrounding her.
This is the cabin I started. This is my first year cabin when I was 50 years ago. And come on in and I'll show you where I slept.
Entering cabin.
It was right here, in this area. It wasn't just bunk. We had that Gomer pile kind with the foot thing here. But this is the area I slept. In subsequent years, I slept like this. The bed was this way. Long way. Okay, and this is like I said, this is my first year ever here. 50 years ago, and this was the cabin I slept in. This is sound of camp.
Linda slams the screen door.
Yeah, that's what it used to sound like.
Now in a different cabin.
And these, come check these out. Thank you. This was a little chest thing. When I was a little girl, these were here then. This is the color green the way they were then. And believe it or not, they're here. They're still in working order. People still use them today. Oh.
Linda exits the cabin.
I'm gonna hear this one shut too. Let's hear for this one.
And slams the screen door again. She then smiles and gives 2 emphatic thumbs up. Following Linda now as she walks quietly down the pathway with an incredible wooded backdrop. right and grabs the guide rope.
This is the rope we used to use when I was a kid. We don't have much of this left.
Then she turns and continues on the path. Fade to black, pink text. Part 2, Modern Day Linda. Again, these interviews include cutscenes that are applicable to the interviews.
My name is Tony Fletcher, director of Enchanted Hills Camp. I've been directing since 1998. I believe I met Linda right around 2000 when she came up here as a camper. Over the years working with Linda, it was a few years back, going from being a camper and noticing how much she loved Enchanted Hills Camp with a passion, channeling that passion into becoming a volunteer, and then she started working with us as a volunteer up at camp.
Okay, hi, I'm Janet, and I met Linda Fonseca up here at camp not long ago in the kitchen, and she was baking. And she stopped what she was doing to meet me and to get to know me a little bit. And I told her that I was married, and she said, "Where's your diamond ring?" And I liked her immediately.
Hey, I'm Donnie Lay. I'm the site manager here at Enchanted Hills. And Linda's kind of a part of our family here. We live close to her, and she's our good friend.
Hi, I'm Chris. I'm the maintenance technician here at Enchanted Hills Camp. And I've been here for a couple of months, via a year, somewhere. I don't know what I'm talking about now.
And then, she just wanted to be up here all the time, so we got her involved with housekeeping and working in the kitchen, and she just thrived. And no one puts in more volunteer hours than Linda Fonseca for this camp.
Linda, she is definitely the heart of Enchanted Hills. She brightens up all our mornings being who she is.
Now living up here and working with Linda is such a privilege. She knows so much about camp.
She is the spirit in the sense of loving the facility, taking care of it, maybe worries a little too much, but she has become quite an instrumental figure for our success up here at camp.
She's always down to earth in her own particular way, and she makes us all happy and smile in her own particular way.
I think Linda is the embodiment of what Enchanted Hills is really supposed to be about, because we would like to be enabling sight impaired people to do what they want to do, fulfill their dreams, and I think Linda's really fulfilling her dream by living out here in the country and helping people and cooking really good, baking really good chocolate chip cookies. Makes everybody happy, it's always a hit.
She's made some of the best cookies we've had over the last couple of years.
When people leave, I clean cabins. Upper camp, that is. Lodge, vacuum, dust, clean, sinks, toilets, Swiffer the bathroom floors. Of course, my favorite, making cookies for everybody. Make salad for dinner. Set up tables in dining hall at dinner time. Wash dishes. Clean up kitchen. Food, putting food away. Sometimes I pull weeds around the lodge. Oh yeah, and of course, above all, wash sheets and towels for retreats. And that's about it.
Looking up from her work in the kitchen in slow motion, Linda gives us a super smile. Fade to black. Part 3. Inspiration. We see the heart of the camp, including picnic table area and Lakoya Lake.
For me, on a very personal level, Enchanted Hills Camp is certainly the perfect recipe for inspiration.
Panning right, ending at the colorfully painted art building known as the Hogan.
Hello, my name is Masceo. I have been in Enchanted Hills since 2014.
First, there's these incredible physical aspects to Enchanted Hills. The 300 plus acres of redwood forest, along with a super rich, lifelong history of being a camp. Then you add a multi-talented team of folks who care about camp, who love it, and who go the extra mile to put on amazing, accessible activities, as well as take care of the campers and each other. Then you add several sessions a summer of happy, excited, vacationing campers. Then you finally add Linda, who just absolutely has a knowledge, understanding, and experience of all things Enchanted Hills Camp, and wow.
At the archery range, Linda puts on a wrist guard like she has done many times before. Now with the bow and arrow in her hand, she prepares to shoot the red, white, and blue balloons attached to the hay bales downrange. She draws back and shoots with skill as the arrow floats directly over the top of the hay bales. She reaches immediately for another arrow. She knocks her arrow in the bow. She draws back, and now in slow motion, the arrow is released, and it flies through the air and strikes the red balloon, popping it. She immediately confidently grabs another arrow and knocks it. She draws back her third try, and oop, misses just right as it sticks in the hay bale. She grabs yet a fourth arrow and knocks it quickly. Again in slow motion, she lets the arrow fly as it strikes and pops the top white balloon. Still in slow motion, she reaches for her fifth arrow, and in a moment of uncontrollable excitement, she jumps and screams to celebrate her 2 popped balloons on 4 shots caught on camera.
We care a lot about Linda, and it's great that she's been able to celebrate her 50th year. It's just, yeah, amazing, and it's so wonderful to know Linda and how she remembers everyone. She just knows everybody. You can come back after 3 years away, 6 years away from me, and she still remembers me and knows who I am. And yeah, she's the perfect person you could ever imagine to have. So Linda, happy 50th. Look forward to more years.
She knows so much about the kitchen. She has a wonderful memory of things that have happened here. She's funny. She calls me Flower Bloom Janet, and I call her the glue stick because she holds it together. Linda is really glue in camp, and it goes way back. And she's everywhere, and it's fun, and I like Norman. I love seeing Norman. We talk about Norman, and I'm looking forward to so many more adventures with Linda. And Linda, I'm so glad to know you, and here's to lots more adventures on camp.
We love you, Linda. Happy 50th. You really stuck it out, and like I said, you're the heart and soul of this camp. Keep doing it. Good work.
I'd love to hug her. I love her pearls of wisdom. She brings a smile to my face every time. The campers love her. The retreat guests love her. So Linda Fonseca, I love you. Congratulations on 50 years of being at Enchanted Hills Camp, and may we have 50 more.
In the summer of 2014, Linda not only gave me one of my favorite Enchanted Hills Camp summer stories, personal stories, but she also gave me a song that I wrote based on the story. And I made a really, really cool friend.
Masceo playing guitar and singing with Linda next to him on the couch. Now outside, Linda is holding a hand-painted banner with her name on it, and she is holding some flowers as a 50-year celebratory parade begins. Now we see a second hand-painted sign that says 50 Years of Fonseca. And behind this banner is a whole bunch of happy campers parading in celebration of Linda's 50th year.
She takes care of all of us in this place to be. I hope you have your heart. I'm sorry.
Tony with a bullhorn and a cup of coffee as the California evening sunshine flickers through the trees.
Longest fire drill you've ever been on. Linda Fonseca.
I forgot to take
50-year fire drill parade.
you right behind the kiva. Shout my name and I didn't mean to leave ya. Didn't mean to leave ya, Linda Fonseca.
Now we see Linda on the bridge behind the kiva shouting Masceo's name.
I made a big mistake. You were right behind the kiva. Shout my name and I didn't mean.
Fading to a lovely picture of Linda smiling, holding some flowers. Back to Masceo and Linda on the couch having a laugh.
Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Linda Fonseca. Good job, Linda.
Happy 50th, Linda. I love you. Thank you so much for all you do at Enchanted Hills Camp, and cheers to many more.
Now a black and white selfie video of Masceo giving Linda a sweet kiss on the side of her head as she smiles and the two of them sit peacefully and happily together.
Love it here so much I want to spend the rest of my days here. To my last breath I take.
Fade to black. Pink text. Part 4. Do a dance if you love what you do.
Love it here so much I want to spend the rest of my days here. To my last breath I take.
Linda is now in front of the Enchanted Hills Camp sign and in slow motion puts her hand on her hip and shakes it just a little, all with a big smile on her face. Now in the kitchen, Linda is rocking out with the big mixer as she mixes snickerdoodles. The snickerdoodle dance, all with that lovable smile. We see Linda on the bridge behind the kiva, and she starts to show off her fancy footwork. After delivering pearls of wisdom in the dining hall with Tony, she fist pumps, twirls, and grooves, all while holding a plate full of fruit. More fancy footwork on the bridge. She puts her hand on her hip and smiles real big. After making the bed in the cabin, she super grooves with 2 thumbs up in slow motion, finishing with a smirk. A third time on the bridge, now her hands raised in the air as she swings them exuberantly, some more fancy footwork in slow motion, ending with her gesturing like that's enough for now. And finally, at the archery range, Linda stands in front of the target and celebrates her great shooting by dancing and gesturing at her well-shot arrows and popped balloons. With the bow in her hand, she throws her hands out to her side, joyfully bouncing, the sun shining on her convincing smile as she raises her hands to the sky and bows.
Love it here so much I want to spend the rest of my days here. To my last breath I take.
After seeing Linda make those actual comments, we see her sitting cross-legged and happily at the redwood fire pit. Fade to black, title in pink, 50 Years of Fonseca. Now back to Linda at the fire pit, and she looks directly into the camera. Fade to black, text. Thank you, Enchanted Hills Camp. Linda looking directly into the camera. Fade to black, text. Thank you, San Francisco Lighthouse for the blind. One last look at Linda looking very content. Fade to black, pink text. a Masceo Film. A black and white profile view of Linda peacefully enjoying a meal in the dining hall. Pink credits start to roll. 50 Years of Fonseca, Tony Fletcher, EHC Director. Janet Lay, Site Manager. Donnie Lay, Site Manager. Chris Boyd, Head Maintenance Tech. Masceo, 2016, the Richmond Area Leader. As Linda stands up, fade to black, pink text. Filmed summer 2016. Additional footage provided by Janet Lay. Standing, Linda pours some beverage from the pitcher and takes a couple big satisfying drinks. Fade to black, pink text. Music by Masceo. Close-up of the Mount Veeder stream as the clear, clean water reflects the bright sunlight. The water now trickling beautifully across the stones. Big pink bold text. And introducing... Camera quickly pans up the creek bank, showing bridge. Big pink bold text. Linda Fonseca. And leaning on the rail of that bridge is the beautiful Linda Fonseca. Tiara in her hair and her pink shirt. She raises her head high and in slow motion smiles bigger than life. Fade to black. The end. For more EHC-inspired media, including Masceo's song Fonseca, and so much more, masceo.net. Audio description written by Masceo.
And audio described by Kate Williams in Dub's Family Studio, West Sacramento.